This is Wallet Brief, where we break down what actually moved the US economy this week, without the noise. If prices, interest rates, jobs, housing, or taxes are quietly changing your money, this is where you stay informed. Let's get into what really happened this week, and what it means for your wallet. Over the past several weeks, gas and food prices in the US have been trending slightly higher after a period of relative stability. Earlier, costs had leveled off, giving households a brief sense of relief. But underlying pressures, including seasonal demand and ongoing supply adjustments, have kept prices from moving lower for long. This week, that pattern showed signs of continuing, but with a more mixed signal. Gas prices remained elevated, but the pace of increase slowed compared to previous weeks. In some areas, prices appeared to stabilize rather than continue rising sharply. At the same time, grocery prices showed small but steady increases across several everyday categories. Items like dairy, packaged foods, and fresh produce continued to edge higher, reinforcing the idea that food inflation is still persistent. So what's the real trend right now? Costs are stabilizing, but at a high level. Instead of rapid increases, we're seeing slower movement, with occasional upward pressure. This creates a situation where prices don't feel like they're rising quickly, but they also don't provide meaningful relief. This week reinforces a high plateau trend. Prices are holding near elevated levels, with only minor changes week to week. So how does this hit your money? For most households, this means your weekly expenses remain consistently high. Filling up your car may not cost significantly more than last week, but it's still more expensive than earlier periods. Grocery bills continue to add pressure. Even small increases across multiple items can lead to noticeably higher totals at checkout. Over time, this steady level of high costs can reduce how much flexibility you have in your budget. It may also shift spending priorities, with more money going toward essentials and less toward discretionary purchases. Looking ahead to next week, markets will be watching for any changes in energy supply conditions and early retail pricing trends. These signals will help determine whether costs begin to ease, or continue holding at elevated levels. That's your wallet brief for this week. These changes don't always make headlines, but they do change how much you pay, save, and earn. We'll be back next week with